Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is a guide to Mount Gulg. Pretty soon, Vothri is going to get what's coming for him. Please like and subscribe. I'm releasing guides for every story dungeon and trial in the game, so you always know what's coming. Let's get started. As you climb this makeshift mountain, you'll find the trash is really nothing special. The first boss is Forgiven Cruelty. The tank should face him away from the group since he does frontal AoE attacks. He opens with Rake, a simple tank buster, just use mitigation and healing as needed. Lumen Infinitum is a powerful line AoE attack with no marker, but the cast has a big and obvious animation. Just make sure you're off to the side when you see it. With Typhoon Wing, you will see green orbs that look windy. Just stand sort of close to the boss and between two of them, because each one will blast a conal AoE, and that's the easiest way to avoid getting hit. Late in the fight, there may also be a few orbs positioned around the floor. These will blast in large circles, so you have to stand where you can avoid the cones coming from the center while avoiding these large circles at the same time. Cyclone Wing deals unavoidable damage to all players, just heal through it. Between the first and second boss, you'll run into this wall. Just watch out for its conal AoEs, murder it, and move on. The second boss is Forgiven Whimsy. After a few seconds, it will cast Sacrament of Penance, which will deal unavoidable damage to all players, just heal through it. Then it will wobble around and stop with a lighted pattern on its face, while casting Exegesis. There are 9 squares on its face, and these correspond to the 9 squares on the floor. The lit tiles on his face tell you which squares to avoid on the floor, so move to an unlit one to be safe. Catechism is a tank buster with no tank buster marker, but you can see it on the cast bar. Use mitigation and healing as needed. Judgment Day will put 1 or 2 circles on the floor that at least one player needs to stand in to prevent raid-wide damage. That player will be struck with a meteor for moderate damage. Late in the fight, shiny blue orbs will spawn that inflict large donut AoE damage. Every situation is a little different, but keep in mind that the donuts will be large and overlap. A donut hole may be safe, but it may not be if the other donut runs right through it. Usually, edges or corners are best here. You will have a few seconds to find a good spot. If you see Exegesis casting, make sure you look at the boss's face as well, because the squares will be blasted at the same time as the donuts, so the remaining safe places to stand will be very few. The third boss is Forgiven Obscenity. She'll cast Horizon Fortissimo, dealing unavoidable damage to all players, just heal through it. With Divine Diminuendo, you will see a circle AoE centered on the boss, just step out of it. But the second time she casts this, you need to stand just on the edge outside the circle. At the last second, concentric circles will appear and be blasted with damage, and a thin ring around the original circle is an easy, safe place to stand. With Conviction Marcato, vertical yellow rings and a line AoE will appear. Just avoid the line and stand between 2 rings, as each of them will fire damage in front of them. Penance Pianissimo is a spell that shrinks the arena into a smaller circle. Feather Marionette is one where 4 copies of the boss will appear, but one will have halos. Run to that one and stay just outside her AoE circle, as all 4 will have them now. Very quickly, lots of AoE will blast the floor, but this is the place you want to be to avoid the damage. The clones will reposition and then cast Conviction Marcato. This time, you need to be close to the center, but between 2 vertical rings to be safe. Late in the fight, she will cast Solitaire Ring, and you will see rings spawning in front of blobs of light. Just stand in front of the last ring to spawn and watch the other rings go off. Then move into the safe space when an adjacent ring goes off. Finally, she has a tank buster with no marker called Sacrament Sforzando. Just use mitigation and healing as needed. And that's it for Mount Gulg. Have a blast and see you next time.